Pete, when you look at Tyler Seguin throughout the season, one thing in specific is he's played center throughout his career mostly. When you talk about depth guys playing versatility, that's one thing. But when a superstar player who is used to being a star is able to switch positions, how much of an asset is that?
Yeah, I mean, critical. I think it's easier when you're asked to play wing with Rupe Hins and Robertson, I'm sure, than a couple other guys. But he's been all in since day one on whatever we asked him to do. We've asked him to play a depth role. We've asked him, like Jamie Benn, to take less minutes. We've asked him to jump up in the lineup when we've had injuries. We filled in for Rupe. Did a great job through a key stretch of the season. Has jumped in for Pav here now. So that's probably the one strength of our group is those guys have all checked egos and done whatever we've asked them to do.
We're going to keep nagging you. How did Joe look this morning, and is that just another step in the process?
Great step. Came down yesterday, skated with the extra guys, kind of first time in a group setting, and then, this is another step today with our group. So, starting to get close. You can see, his excitement, and obviously just him being around, the excitement of our group with him out there.
You mentioned there with ego. Is that something that when a guy has been the best at everything throughout his career, before you get to this point, is it different with a player like that? Does it take more time to come to accept that he might be a depth scorer at this point until it's called up?
I think guys get to a certain point in their career where you have enough money, you've got enough accolades, you've done this, you want to win. You want to win a Stanley Cup, and we've got a group of guys that there's some Hall of Fame resumes in that room, that are just missing one thing. So, when you get to that point in your career, I think you start to open your mind up to, what do I have to do to help win a Stanley Cup? That becomes a priority.
He just mentioned that, he used to just spend his off seasons working on one-timers and that was it. Now he's evolved into a more complete game. You coached against him, now coaching him. How have you seen his entire game evolve? Yeah,
well, you know what? I mean, I think, again, credit to him. The veteran players here, Jamie Benn, him, Ryan Suter, Joe Pavelski, have all embraced new things. It's not like they've come in closed-minded. This is what I do, and you need to live with it. It's been, listen, what can I do at this point in my career to help my game, to help us win a Stanley Cup? And we've asked those guys to do some different things, all of them, and they've been all in. So I think that's real important at when you get into those stages of your career.
With the hints, Max Domi just said if you're playing EA Sports, that's the guy you want to create in the game. Just for you, to have a guy with that blend of speed and hands and everything, and how beneficial is that for you and the options that you have?
Yeah, he's he reminds me a little bit of Barkov, where no one really talks about him, but he's an elite player in this league, and he's got the whole package: power, speed, finesse. Coachable, team guy, defensively good, just an all-around player. I think he's a version of Kopitar, when Kopitar was kind of that age. Those are the guy. That's the kind of guy he reminds me of, and you can win with guys like that. So I'm a big fan.
Coach, it seems that teams play for home ice advantage throughout the regular. You get to the regular season, you want to have home ice advantage. Home ice advantage hasn't meant much so far in the first round of the playoffs. What are you seeing out there that explains it?
I don't have an explanation, but I'll tell you, Bruce, if you lined up all the coaches in the NHL and asked them if they'd rather play 5 and 7 at home or on the road, I don't care what the records are. You'll take 5 and 7 at home. So that's what we've got.